play on the news, but he's showing like good stories and positive stories, even with the bad. Because I'm not trying to get all philosophical, but you got to take the good with the bad. Like you can't just like have one without the other. So.
Rokon as a district is coming from Stanford University, where scientists have cured, that's right, eliminated and eradicated type 1 diabetes in a local mouse without any sort of insulin or immune suppression. They use something called the double transplant method, surgically replacing 2 failing organs with new ones, a bilateral procedure that rendered that little bastard diabetes-free. No side effects, no Ozempic, just happy living.
Nice.
Our social media staff reached out to the mouse for comment, but unfortunately, he was hiding in the vacuum and wouldn't come out. At least he's been cured of something that 12 to 14% of Americans suffer from, and it's even worse in Arkansas. Yeah. Congratulations to Stanford, the mouse, and everybody else. You've done it. Hope it works on humans. Second positive story is coming out of Madison, Wisconsin, where we happen to have a secret documentary screening in just 4 days this Friday at the Orpheum Theater that I'm going to get to in a minute. But in case you're curious, tickets are available at www.channel5.news. Anyways, in Madison this year, recent reports say their electric buses, their public electric buses, their EVs were emission-free and reported 0 mechanical problems throughout the entirety of this bone-chilling winter. No gear breakdowns, no frickin' problem with the space heaters, just smooth sailing without shooting diesel fumes into our precious ozone layer. Let's go, Madison, Wisconsin. I'll see you Friday, and here's a bit more about the tour. Don't skip it.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is not an advertisement, by the way. Did you hear that about a year ago, we bought back our old show, All Gas, No Brakes? Remember, from 2019 to 2020? My first show. We bought it back, as well as the entire catalog of unreleased All Gas, No Brakes episodes.
If you're my friend and you come visit me in the RV.
That's actually what I was watching before I watched Channel 5 with him, was All Gas, No Brakes. And the way he would interview people was very unique. Like, I just thought, like, it made me want to do what he does, because it's like the interesting like dialogue that he would have with people, the jokes. Because at first I thought he was just trolling people, but you could kind of see that he just liked people sharing their opinions, which I think is cool. How else are you supposed to understand a group of people if you're not willing to listen to them and what they have to say, you know?
Do not take a shit.
Oh, fuck! Jesus Christ! MS-13 is actually the biggest piece of shit I've ever met.
And guess what? We are currently on tour right now, going across the country, screening OG and new All Gas, No Brakes material, and screening some never-before-seen Channel 5 documentaries that I think you'd like to see. So if you want to come to our C5 Carnival, which is a hybrid all-gas Channel 5 screening with a talent show and a rap battle embedded inside of it,
what? Oh, how do you learn that? Like, bruh, you practice that. And how did you find out you could do that? Like, bruh, what?
You should definitely buy a ticket right now at www.channel5.news. It's called the C5 Carnival. We're going to so many different cities. If you live in Madison, Wisconsin, St. Paul, Minnesota, Salt Lake City, Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah again, Chicago, Illinois, Philadelphia, PA, Tacoma, Washington, Los Angeles, California, San Francisco, California, Portland, Oregon, Austin, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Denver, Colorado, Vancouver, BC, Atlanta, Georgia, El Paso, Texas, Phoenix, Arizona, San Diego, California, or Albuquerque, New Mexico, you too can see the return All Gas, No Brakes episodes and the new Channel 5 secret documentary. And also, maybe you can be in the talent show. Catch you guys on tour. Again, www.channel5.news. A night to remember, a night to never miss, a carnival of sorts, I'd say. Would you? See you there.
Also, just want to say real quick, this entire podcast is available in audio-only format on Spotify, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, and...
He's doing good. He's getting his bag. That's what's up. Like, I respect the grind, dude, honestly.
Many other platforms. Sir, if you're somebody who likes to listen to just words and shit, or if you're a truck driver who has to have both hands at 10-2 with those eyes locked on the road, check out the audio feed. Just type in 5cast in all caps. You'll see a beautiful autumn field with a 5cast logo emblazoned on the front. That's us, baby. Check it out. All right, let's get into it. Thanks for sitting down with us. I really appreciate it.
Nice to meet you, of course.
Yeah. For those who don't know, can you just tell the people what your name is and who you mostly work for?
Yeah, my name is Doug McMillan. I'm a business reporter at the Washington Post. I've been doing investigations into the ways that businesses, corporations, industries cause harm to people over the years. And I've looked at everything from senior housing centers to the way American Red Cross trains.
Senior housing, or just senior living in general, because I used to work with seniors. That's another video, honestly, just because these people, you know, they work their whole life, and get put in a home and are mistreated and abused. I think that's the most depressing story ever, honestly, and there needs to be some awareness for what's going on there.
Lifeguards, they actually don't train lifeguards. They outsource that certification process. I've looked at ways the nuclear waste industry has a big problem on its hand with a bunch of nuclear waste sites around the country. So over the past year, I have been looking at this world of contractors to ICE, and was surprised, as a business reporter, I was surprised to learn that, you know, ICE has kind of this whole industry of private companies that do everything from transporting, feeding, providing medical care, to detaining and eventually flying out of the country immigrants who are in ICE's custody. So as a business reporter, my alarms are popping off and saying this is a business story, and we should approach this and look at it from the lens of, you know, who's making money, how do they potentially stand to gain.
That's the key word right there. Who's making money, right? Like, everything is business related. Everything. If you can make money and profit off it, then they're going to find a way to make money and profit off it. Not only make money, make the most money they can. Look at the pharmaceutical company. Look at the entertainment industry. Look at literally anything, any industry, and it's always going to be about money. So it would not surprise me if this has to do with money as well.
And even more under this administration as they ramp up the arrests of immigrant detainees. And what are the ways in which this system is exposing people to harm? There's a long kind of documented history of ICE detention is a scary place to be for a lot of people. And whether, whatever your views on, whether people who are, whose only crime is coming into this country illegally, whatever your views on whether those people should be arrested and put into detention centers, I think we can all agree that people should be treated humanely in these buildings. And so there.
Yeah, literally, that's like the bottom line, like common sense type thing. Why would you not treat someone humanely unless you're just like power tripping? And coming from the military, I was in the military for 6 years. I know there's a lot of power tripping that's involved with the military and with any organization, even at current jobs or whatever, like outside of the military, they're always going to find someone who's just power tripping, who just wants to feel some semblance of like power and control over another person. And what's that quote? Not the Spider-Man one, but I'll say it: with great power comes great responsibility. But I was talking about absolute power corrupts absolutely. That's probably one of the most realist quotes I've ever read. So
there have been a lot of questions over the years, long before President Trump came into office, about whether they're being treated humanely. What I found over the past few months is those questions have been magnified. These facilities are now filling up with more and more people. In some cases, they're kind of overflowing with people. And
not the soccer ball. At least get the soccer ball down, bro.
Filling up with more and more people. In some cases, they're kind of overflowing.
Bruh, y'all gonna leave the soccer ball up there? That thing's probably deflated too. Dang. Someone probably did that on purpose. I'm not gonna lie. I know if you're bored, you'll just do stuff. So
with people, and this administration has ripped away some of the oversight measures that used to be in place to help make sure people were being treated humanely there.
Yeah, it's really interesting because there's been so much reporting about what's happening on the ground, like in Minneapolis, but less reporting on what actually happens behind the walls of these detention facilities.
Yeah, there's not going to be any reporting on that. One, because it would make them liable for whatever happens. Two, there's like this code when you're in, and again, it's not like 100%, like I'm not telling you like, oh yeah, this is exactly what happens, but what I found is there's this like unity. If you look at police officers, if you look at border patrol, if you look at the military, it's like you watch out for your own. So if someone's doing something shady and they're your friend, you know, or there's someone that you associate with, of course you're not going to be like, you're not going to be a snitch. You're not going to like go to your superiors and like, oh yeah, they're not following the procedures, even though honestly that's what should happen, because it's not a social club. These are not social clubs. If you're a police officer, you have the right to kill someone. Like not the right, but you can lawfully kill someone as long as you are justified behind your killing, which I'm not going to lie, a lot of these police officers are not justified in their killing. So, and they only get a slap on the wrist for killing someone, right? And they're supposed to be the ones that uphold the law and the justice, yet they get away with this stuff.
Mainly because they don't allow reporters in. So your job is tracking down the experiences of people who are incarcerated or formerly incarcerated or detained in these facilities and getting that information to the public. When you talk about some of these safeguards being stripped away and different quality of life issues behind the wall, what are some of the most poignant examples of human rights abuses inside ICE detention facilities?
Yeah, I'll give you a specific facility. One of the kind of the pet projects of this administration, a completely brand new detention facility was built out of basically an empty patch of desert in the Texas desert on the border. It's near the Fort Bliss Army base. They call this place Camp East Montana. It's in Texas, but they call it Camp East Montana. It's now the largest ICE detention center in the country, and basically it's not even buildings. They set up these soft-sided structures that basically are big tents that hold. They currently hold around 4,000 detainees, but they're built to hold up to 5,000 detainees. And one of the things that my reporting showed was that when they were kind of racing to get this facility off the ground and build it really quickly and put detainees into it quickly, ICE sent its own inspectors in to monitor the conditions there. So some of the things that ICE inspectors came back with, they found that the food was inedible and many people were being...
Wait, so you're telling me that they send their own investigators there? Like, so you're not even outsourcing the people that inspect it? Like, they send their own inspectors to do their own inspections of their own facilities. Like, you don't think there's some bias, or you don't think that there's something shady happening with that? Like, if a true inspector isn't going to be part of the organization, like a true inspector is going to be, someone that they send who's not a part of or affiliated to unbiasedly look at things and be like, nope, okay, say my company right now that I work for just had an OSHA person come from our own site, and they're like, oh yeah, like don't worry about that, don't worry about that. But then if you have an OSHA person actually from a different whatever come, and they're like, oh that, just pointing out all these different things, because one, they want you to be in compliance, but two, it's a safety risk. So it's literally like people's lives on the line, and if you're playing with people's lives, like, come on, like, you wonder why things are so messed up, you know?
Forced to kind of either eat expired food, rotten food, or just go hungry.
Nah. If you serve me rotten food, I'm throwing it in your face. And unsafe water, that's a little bit harder to, I guess, know, unless it is just like muddy, or like you can like literally see like stuff floating in it. But there's also times where the water looks normal, but like the microbiomes or whatever, or the metals or something that you cannot see are in there. So it's like, if you're not testing that water with a certain test procedure, then you could be literally getting poisoned, which is insane to me.
spree. They found that many people were not even getting screened medically when they came in. It's really important if you're going to try to provide adequate medical care for people that you know when they come into the door
what's going on, like what they have. Also, I mean, if you have one sick person who's contagious and you're not screening them properly and they come in and you're just shoving them all into a room like cattle, you don't think that's going to spread a sickness? And I want to almost 100% bet they're not giving them like masks. And if they are giving them masks, it's the ones that don't do anything, like the bad masks, like the Timu masks. They're not giving them the N95s that they really need to, not spread anything.
Or what their situation is physically, mentally, what their health situation is. Those screenings weren't happening. And they were also not giving people adequate means of communicating with the outside world.
Wow.
One of the federal standards for detention require you to either give detainees a tablet or phones or some way of communicating with lawyers.
Yeah, it's like, what do all the movies say? I want my phone call, right? They're not even giving them a phone call? It's horrible.
Lawyers, communicating with your family, and just talking to the outside world.
Yeah. My fiance told me about a story of someone who got sent back to, I forgot, it was like Guatemala or something. But it was this old person, and they got him. He didn't have a phone, didn't have anything. He hadn't been back there in a long time. They sent him back. Family didn't even know where he was. Like, family was trying to get in contact with him. They tried to talk to the Border Patrol agents, whatever, ICE, and they were giving him information. They finally found him, and he was just like homeless, pretty much, living there. Like, you're telling me that's humane? You're telling me that you can't take 5-10 minutes or whatever to let him contact who he needs to contact before you're just shipping them out? Like where is the common sense with this whole situation? That's only one example. There's probably thousands of examples of that happening,
These people were getting tablets, but they were broken for weeks.
Wow.
So some of the basic essentials.
We gave him a tablet. Like he didn't want to do anything with it. It was broken. Yo, imagine he gets in there, or whoever the detainee is, and they're just handing him a tablet. Like, okay, here, fine. We're supposed to do this for you. This is our procedure. And he tries to use it, and it's freaking broken. And then they're like, oh well, he tried. He didn't do anything with it, so we just sent him on. I guarantee you that's their excuse that they're using. Is we gave him what we gave him, but he wasn't able to use it. It's to cover their own ass, what?
That federal standards dictate you're supposed to require give people in these facilities were not there, and so in that case, the inspectors came back and said that there were 60 violations of ICE's detention standards. We don't, at this point, that was a few months ago. We don't know if they've resolved any or all those issues, but there are still significant concerns.
The claim that ICE underfeeds detainees is false. They receive 3 meals a day. Certified dietitians evaluate meals and ensure they meet the appropriate standards. Okay, that's what they say, but where's the truth?
About this facility where there's been 3 deaths there just in the past few months.
Okay, so let's go back to that statement they just said, right? So this is what they're saying is happening, right? And what the facts are saying is there's 3 deaths. So something's not adding up here. There's this response, and then there's the facts. So I'm going to lean more towards the facts of the situation, which shows 3 deaths, right? I don't care what your claims are. I care about what the facts show. And that's honestly how we need to live life. But, that's just me.
But there are still significant concerns about this facility where there's been 3 deaths there just in the past few months.
And what was the autopsy report as far as the cause of death?
So there were 3 deaths in December and January. One of those deaths was a man named Geraldo Lunas Campos. He's a 55-year-old Cuban national, been detained there for a few months. And
rest in peace.
initially, ICE puts out a press release a few days after each person in his custody dies. They put out a press release, usually has a little bit of information about what happened to that person. In this case, they put out a press release saying, you know, he was sent to solitary confinement, and a little while later, they found him unresponsive.
Wow.
So really no information was given about, you know, why this person had died. That seemed suspicious to me, and I had a source telling me.
Yeah, that's suspicious. Like, he just mysteriously died? Like, what, freaking, spontaneous combustion? Like, is this dude just bursting into flames? Like, obviously not. There's causes to death, and if they're not telling you what the cause is, it's because they don't want to tell you what the cause is. It's not because there is no cause. It's they know the cause, but I'm not going to go in circles here, but they know what happened, and most likely they contributed to what happened. So
me that actually this was a result of a use of force incident.
Yeah.
So immediately started kind of working the phones, trying to get inside what happened here. I got in touch with the family of this man, who had been in touch with the medical examiner who was examining his body. And the medical examiner told the family that they believed that it was a homicide, and that this man looked like.
Look at that. So this is the actual medical examiner forensics report. And it looks like literally what it says right here: cause of death, asphyxiation or asphyxia due to neck and torso compression. Manner of death, homicide. There it is right there.
He had been essentially choked to death. I subsequently found witnesses, people who had.
This dude had a family too. Like, bro, sick. This is horrible. Like, for a man who was just being detained to be sent back. Like, this isn't even a person that committed a crime, and yet you're being treated like a criminal? Like,
also been detained and witnessed this event, who had witnessed guards choking the man to death.
Wow.
And he said his last words were, "I can't breathe."
So they literally witnessed it too. But I guarantee you those people are not being used as witnesses though. Oh, they're just detainees. We can't trust what they're saying. Of course they're gonna tell you lies.
Can't breathe. So pretty significant questions about, you know, what's going on in this facility. If a man who is, you know, detained there was choked to death by guards, you know, what is the reason that,
Yeah.
you know, they were having to kind of detain him, restrain him? What is the reason that use of force ultimately led to him dying? And what is the protocol for if a situation is out of hand and you have guards there who are trying to get it back in order?
Non-lethal force. That should be literally I think that's what they teach them, right? The non-lethal force. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, like taser, that might be a little bit much. And that's the thing though, is it's a little bit hard because I feel like anything can truly kill someone. That's what's hard with having someone detained, is you try not to do the crazy things in the moment, and some people kind of go into a fight or flight reaction where it's like almost like survival, and they just are doing things. And that's what the training is meant to be, is it's like they literally practice it over and over and over and over until it becomes second nature, to where they're not supposed to react in a violent way or react in a hesitant way, and they just do what they're trained to do. But it's when it's doing it over and over that creates a carelessness. That's the issue.